I say, now look, I'm at home, I have nothing to do. Let me try to become a counselor.
That was your campaign vehicle?
Yeah. So
Attowing truck.
My parents never used to show any reaction to it in the camp.
Mm-hmm.
All those political positions I've held, no day did any of them tell me, hey, congratulations, hey, yeah, nothing. As we don't celebrate anything.
Let's shift gear now to Dr. Irungu as a leader. In the executive table, we follow the leadership journey from where you started to where you are right now and take the lessons that we can learn from you, because what we want to do is for us to learn from you. So tell us about your early life. When you were born, where you were born, tell us about your parents, your siblings, and anything interesting that happened when you were young.
I was born in Murang'a town. My parents were mechanics, my mom and dad.
You know, I've written a book called The Village Girl.
Yeah.
Me, I'm a village girl.
Yeah.
So I've met the first town boy.
Yeah, so.
Okay.
Yeah, right there in the middle of the town.
So they were both mechanics?
Yes, they were both
Mom
mechanics.
and dad?
Yes, they were mechanics. And Juakali people. You see these Juakali people?
Juakali, now you need to explain exactly what they were doing.
Okay. My father was more into mechanical aspect of it. That is welding vehicles with gas. You see gas welding? Eh?
Yes.
He would also, there were also mechanics who do motor vehicle repair. At a certain point, we also started doing servicing of motor vehicles, changing filters, such. My mother was a metal fabricator.
Your mom?
Yes.
Those days?
Yes.
Interesting.
Meaning, you want to do a window, door, you know, anything metal, you want it welded, she would do that.
So even for houses?
Yes. Yes, you see, like, let's say,
the metal grills, even in our houses, we have the metal grills.
Yeah.
She used to do that?
Yeah, she used to do that.
Amazing.
In fact, at a certain time in my parents' life trajectory, my father became sick, and my mother literally took over that business of
the mechanic,
the metal fabrication. That was our specialty. Yeah, customers, schools coming to ask, I want an order to do metals. Yes. Yeah, and then she was a metal fabricator. Of course, at a certain time now, she was more into managerial. Yeah, she's employing people to do that. Her work is to argue with customers. That was her life. That's how. So me, I grew up in Juakali. Yeah.
But you know, now I'm imagining your mom, if one of the technical guys doesn't show up one day because he's sick or for whatever reason, she will not watch as the customer waits, and you know, so she'll just say, "Kazi haitasimama."
Yeah,
we will continue, whether he's here or not. I'll do it myself.
Yeah. Everyone used to find her doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, doing that. Everyone would find her doing that.
Wow.
Not once, often than not.
Yeah.
She was I think the only woman in our town who used to do that.
How long did she do that?
Until you know, she lived up to 75 years of age. I think by the time she was maybe on her 60th birthday, she was still doing that.
She was still doing it?
Yeah.
At 60?
Yeah, 60 definitely.
Wow.
Yeah, I think she retired at 60.
At 60?
Because of health, not any other reason.
Yeah.
I saw about 10 years of her late life. he definitely withdrew.
But she continued overseeing the business.
Yes, but
she had
at a certain
created.
time, that business now started when going down. I think what happened, and I noted how that business declined, is I suspect maybe the children were now grown up. Maybe they didn't have more mojo to push it ahead.
The motivation.
Yeah, because for what?
Yes.
And all children are now.
They are grown up. They are educated now.
Go fight in their life
on their own.
Yeah, I suspect that could be a reason. Secondly, I suspect the second reason was new technologies came in. Yeah. I recall these days, if I'm not wrong, people do metal fabrication at a customer's premises.
The customer doesn't have to come to your garage or
your garage,
your yard.
You go to
the site.
To the site, you fabricate, you go. That shift came, which somehow made my family metal fabrication business somehow becoming redundant because of a market shift. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how many are you? Do you have any siblings or people you are born with, brothers, sisters?
8.
You are 8?
Yes, but 2 passed on.
Okay, so 6 alive right now.
Yeah.
So none of you, of course, you did not get any interest in that business.
Yeah.
None of your other siblings wanted to carry on that business.
Yes, and to the unhappiness of my late father, he was quite unhappy, particularly with one of my siblings, whom he felt should have continued that legacy. Yes.
You know, I'm pushing this point because we have been talking about, passion businesses and passion initiatives and how the founders start them. And they run them almost, they take care of them and their customers almost like babies, because they love what they are doing. But over time, it becomes very difficult, to hand over those businesses to other people. So could it be what happened in this particular case, your parents' business? The kids never came up to sort of take it over, take it to the next level of technology, new business models and all that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's very common.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Because, that business is very old. My father came to Murang'a town in 1958.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yes.
from the rural area.
Where were they originally from?
Kahuhia girls.
Kahuhia.
See, they are
still in Murang'a County.
Yeah. My mother is from Kangima, but married in Kahuhia.
Yes.
So you'd imagine 1958. Then he went briefly to Nakuru, then he came back to Murang'a. Then he started that business as an apprentice. And then later on, he established it. It was among the first ones, that kind of business. 1975, I was not even born. PC Nyachai came to Murang'a. He was the PC of Central.
He was the he was the provincial commissioner under the old system.
Of the old system.
Of Central Province.
Yes. So he came and he found a DC was called, my mother tells me it was called Babu or something. So he finds Babu and the Babu tells him, okay, what is there for me to look at Murang'a? He said, hey, come, I show you a very new industry of metal fabrication.
Oh.
So he finds my father doing
metal fabrication as part of his tour.
As part of his tour. Then the PC says, this is a very good mzee. Why is he doing this work in this open field? Why can't you give him land? That's how my father was given land that is almost 1 acre in the middle of Murang'a town.
Wow.
Yeah. Then, when he was given that land by the town council, then, under the instruction of PC Nyachai, then later on, my mother was a maneuverist. She maneuvered to get a lease of that land.
So she even got the title?
Yeah.
Wow.
Now in middle 80s. That's how now we found ourselves living in that middle of the town.
She was an astute businesswoman.
Yeah, she was.
And she knew what to do.
She was a maneuverist.
Yeah, because with the title you can do the investments that you need, whether it's a building or whatever. You have more predictability on the location.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's what happened. And we found ourselves in the middle of that town, in that Juakali region.
Owning that
particular land.
Okay.
Then but then at the tail end of their lives, the business then went down.
Okay, tell us about your school days.
Okay, I then joined Murang'a Township. Then it was called Murang'a Township.
Primary school.
Primary school. That's about how many meters from my house, our house? 400 or 600, not far, very near. So now it is called Viduramji. Viduramji. Renamed after, it used to be an Asian school those days of colonialism. So one Asian who studied there later became a very rich person. They are the owners of the largest mall in Westland is called?
The Village Market?
No.
Or Sarit?
Sarit Center.
Sarit Center?
The owners of Sarit Center. And so they were originally from Muranga. So they built a day school and whatever, they renamed it to Vidu. So me, I was schooling there at Murang'a Township. So that was between 1986, 85 nursery, 86 primary. Then I went to the Kahai in 1994 as a Form 1.
So to go to Thika High, you must have performed very well. Because Thika High was a very good school.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how it is now. Yeah, so you must have done very well.
Yes, I think if I'm not wrong, I think if I'm not wrong, I was number 2 in our small class, or number 1 in our combined class.
Yes.
I was number 4.
Number 4. Wow, that's amazing. So how did you? Maybe I should ask first of all. When you were in school, did you ever take up any leadership positions?
No.
Not at all.
One was offered to me.
You are not a prefect, you are not a head boy.
Refused. I recall I was made an offer in 36 by a certain Mwalimu. I refused.
When you were in high school?
No, primary.
Or primary school?
Yeah.
You refused?
Yeah, I refused.
Why?
I don't know. I told the teacher I don't want. Yeah.
I thought you'd have jumped at the idea.
No, I refused.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you'd even high school, Thika High, you didn't?
No, high school trouble came in.
What happened?
I think that's where the political bug came in. During our time when we were growing up, that was the time when multipartyism was coming into force.
Around 1980.
92.
92.
So there was a lot of agitation for multipartyism from 1990 to 92.
It actually, I think, started around 88.
88.
Yeah, but the peak was around 92.
92.
Yes.
So the leader of that movement was Matiba.
Yes.
No, Matiba was my neighbor in the rural area. He's from Kahu here. 2, he was our 2 or 3 times MP. And,
MP for Keharu.
For Keharu.
I still remember.
So, Matiba was like a demigod. Matiba would inspire a lot of fervent support amongst us. Remember, at that time there was a lot of crackdown against multipartyism. Yes, so I don't know. I somehow became very interested in politics. Yeah, I became very interested.
When you were in high school?
Primary. We are talking primary now. Yeah. Study 5. This 5 hours. That was 1989.
How?
And 1990. So me, I would go and read newspapers. When I'm going to school, I would always look, what does the newspaper say? Yeah. Those time I was an avid reader of Taifa Leo. Kina Kibogoya Kujibu, Juha Kalulu. Those are things I used to follow very strongly. And now
explain what Juha Kalulu was.
Juha Kalulu was a cartoon.
For the young ones who have no idea. Some people here have no idea what Juha Kalulu is.
Juha Kalulu was a cartoon.
It was a cartoon, coming every day. Was
every day?
Yeah. And a lot of satire, especially on political happenings, right?
Yeah. So I used to follow that. Now remember that time when the agitation started, we were only listening to BBC because KBC was biased. So I would go to our town. There was a place called City Radio where the guy there was repairing radio.
A shop.
A shop. But he would tune to BBC.
The BBC, the Swahili version.
The Swahili one of 6:30 to 7.
So you'd be there listening.
Yeah, I'd be there listening.
Wow, you didn't want anything to... So that one you know now is telling you the truth.
Yeah.
What's going on.
And then there were a lot of strikes during that time.
Yes.
We hear Saba Saba, Nane Nane, I don't know what strike.
Yeah. There were demos every other.
So,
was it every Fridays or what?
Yeah. So I would be there listening. Then they arrested Matiba. I know how he felt. Then Matiba was released. When he came to Muranga, I recall I fled from the school.
To go and see him?
To go and see him.
What?
I recall my history teacher was called Mr. Gashanja. He came to the class and asked, can Kang'ata be here when Matiba?
He knew. Why are you looking for him?
How is Kang'ata here? When Matiba is coming back? No way. I had to go
and see your idol, your hero.
Yeah. So then Matiba vied, he lost. Those are things I followed religiously.
Very closely.
Very closely.
Yeah.
I would always, and then I would join, you see those kamukunjis?
Yes.
Where people aggregate.
And just discuss topical issues
I would always
and events.
Listening to those adult discussion on political.
They didn't chase you away?
Once in a blue moon, I recall they would.
Listening to adult stuff.
Adult stuff, but I would still come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I grew in such kind of an environment.
So it also means that your awareness of political happenings, the environment, news and all that started very early, at a very early age, right?
Yes.
And do you think that shaped your career trajectory in the later years, in a way, in a big way?
Definitely.
Yes. So anyway, you still passed, and you joined the law school. You went to do law, right?
Yes, but now the problem came in high school, because that's where I now started actioning politics a little bit more.
In school?
Yeah.
And you are in boarding school?
Yes, Thika High.
Yes.
So I would see a problem and I would write anonymous letter to the
complaint. You are really a troublemaker.
Yeah, I said, no, this thing is not...
It's not right.
It's not right.
It's not fair.
It's not fair.
Can you imagine those letters?
Yeah, many. Many, like 100.
But
Then I would sneak them below the principal's,
principal's office.
office.
How did you disguise your handwriting?
And I used to call myself Kiboro.
Kivoro.
Kiboro was the Nation Media,
Nation Media
CEO that time.
So this
And
is
he's now the
Kivoro.
chair. Because of my avid liking of newspapers,
Yes.
so I had picked the name
Yes.
Kiboro.
He was the CEO of
Yeah.
Nation that time. So this is Kivoro. Address these issues. Oh.
And then one day, the principal decoded
How did he find out?
in a very funny manner. I was given a punishment by a prefect.
Yes.
I went to the deputy to complain
Uh-huh.
against
The punishment meted out by the prefect.
prefect.
Uh-huh.
Then the deputy told me, you have a complaint. Good. Can you write down?
You forgot. Kefaro. Kefaro has written someone. Uh-huh.
Yeah,
So you are
can,
caught.
Yeah, can you write down? Then they said, this is the guy.
So they brought all the letters you had written. Compare you don't need a handwriting expert.
So they would ask me, this is yours? I'll never forget that day. They would tell me, this is yours? I say, yes. We have been looking for you day and night.
You could not deny. The long arm of the law has finally caught up with you.
Yeah.
What happened after you were caught?
Suspension. The principal that time was called Mr. Mutai.
Mr. Mutahi.
Mr. Mutai expelled me. Get out of this school.
And never come back.
Never come back. Then I went to district education office in Bika. Yeah, I said, no, why am I being
Suspended.
expelled
What have I
without procedure? No, I've not been told my
offense.
my offense.
Yes.
The DEO writes a letter to the school and says,
Yes.
give this person, follow procedure,
A hearing.
a hearing.
Yes.
So the board is called
To listen to
to
your
listen
case.
to my... Now, then, one of the board member is from Gavenja, my rural area, Kamuya.
Yes.
You know, most likely you know that lady. There's a lady who has been the secretary, the university lawyer of University of Nairobi called Gondo.
Yes,
Gondo.
yes, I've heard of
You know
Gondo. Yes,
Gondo.
although I don't know her in
Yeah.
person.
She was, her uncle was the first black lawyer with he was called Gishaga. He was the company secretary of BET.
Yes, that
Yeah.
name is quite
Yeah.
popular
Yeah.
these early days.
Yes, he was a
Yes.
company secretary of BET.
Yes.
So he was among the first black lawyers in this country. Him, together with Adins Kodek,
Yes.
the first people to be admitted here as lawyers. So Gishaga, Gondo, another Mzee, there were 3 brothers. They're all from my village.
Yes.
So this Gondo guy, who is he's called Kirago. Yeah, we have Gondo, we have Kirago, and we have Gishaga. So Kirago, these are brothers from our village, but
Yes.
now they are people in Nairobi, prosperous.
Yeah, doing different things.
Yeah, they are. So one of them is a board member. So my father goes and tells Kirago, my boy has been
Suspended.
expelled.
How can you
How can you help? So Kirago tells principal, goes there, can you help this young man? He says, no, this is a very bad young man.
Yeah. This one is poison.
So they say, in fact, he's not wise. He went to report me to district education office. So that then
I'm in
means
trouble.
he will be, if he gets expelled,
Yes.
he'll never get a school because the letters have been sent to Vika, to Nyeri provincial.
No school will take
take him. He is done. This young man, just forget about it. Aye. So my father tells my mother, this boy of yours, he's done.
Trouble here. It's a troublemaker.
Then the board meets. My mother comes and pleads with the school board and tells them, no, we give this young man a chance. The board agrees. They give me a last chance. It was a blessing in disguise because between Form 1 and Form 2, I was not a good student. I used to perform very poorly. I recall in Form 2 second term examination, I had an E in chemistry.
What?
Very
in
poor.
Form 2?
In Form 2.
An E?
E. So I'm performing very poorly. In Form 2 that time, I don't do examination because of this problem.
Expulsion.
But somehow after I'm back, I joined Form 3 still. So I now start working hard.
You become serious.
I move from behind.
E.
In a small class, I become number 9. Second term
On the
Form 3,
first term?
I become number 3.
Wow.
When we are doing third term Form 3, I'm the best, you know.
Wow, by
in
the
my
end
class.
of Form 3,
By the end of I'm the best.
you top.
I topped that class, a small class of ours. And then that E I had in chemistry, I converted into an A- in KCSE and an A- grade in KCSE. So
The
for me,
overall.
the lesson was, I think children can do better if they were to become serious because it was...
But you can explain what changed the E to an A within a space of 1 year?
2 reasons. Just reading. I just decided to become serious, so I would read a lot.
Focused.
Yeah. And secondly, just my parents. See, when you see your parents struggling, you feel for them. You wouldn't want them to
Let
experience
them
that.
down.
Yeah, you feel that was, for me, that was my main motivation. In fact, I don't know what motivates young children to do well in class, but for me, my motivation was definitely my parents. I would never want them to
suffer. Or you to let them down.
Yeah, that was my main motivation.
So I guess you look at the pains your mom has gone through, even coming all the way to school to plead for you, and you say, this is too much, I have to do something.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. So that's how you got into the law class?
Yeah.
Was it your choice, or you just found yourself in the law class?
It was a choice, but inspired by my active political... So that time I'm reading about Moite, Gibson, Kamau Kuria.
And the injustices against Batima.
Yeah. So I say, hey, this is the...
I have to become a lawyer.
This is the trajectory. So my friend... so when I passed, I recall I told my mother, that time we used to call to know. So I call, I'm told what I have. I tell my mother, and my parents never used to show any reaction to anything. They were calm people. They don't show any emotion.
No, well done, no, congratulations.
Nothing, you got
okay. Life goes on.
No, there's no party, no, nothing like that. They just, okay, thank you.
Let's move on. Next. Okay.
In fact, all those political positions I've held, no day did any of them tell me, hey, congratulations, hey, nothing. Nothing. As we don't celebrate anything.
Life goes on.
No. We don't believe in celebrations. Eh? Oh, you have won. Okay, you're now Mheshimiwa. Thank you.
Okay. Do what you need to do.
Yeah, nothing else. No single day. Particularly my father. Did my father ever tell anyone, vote for this young man? Nothing. Never. He would never. Or even introduce himself as my father? No.
He didn't.
He never. You would never know he's the father of a Senate. He keeps to himself. Even my mother. My mother was more talkative. The only time I saw her, okay, now let me now fast forward. I joined University of Nairobi, but before joining University of Nairobi, I do CPS, Certified Public Secretary.
Before the degree.
Yeah. So remember, we used to stay at home 2 years. I remember
Yes.
that was there.
Yeah.
So those 2 years, I homeschooled myself to do
The
CPS. Yeah. So
Why CPS?
that time, you know, CPS has a lot of correlation with law.
Yeah, certified public secretary.
Yes.
It's in the same line.
Yeah, so I thought this might help me
And a lot of us lawyers are actually become CPS.
during
or
your
practice CPS.
time.
Yeah.
CPS was automatically for
Yeah, I didn't
lawyers.
go to any school to have my CPS certification.
As
My law degree was enough to get it for me.
that was not the position during our time. We needed to do the actual
You had to go
units.
to. Okay.
So me, I just registered with CASNEB and I would study at home as I await to join University of Nairobi. So joining, that's where now politics now blow up.
Okay. Tell us about the second. Now I know it's the second. I thought it was the first expulsion from campus
Yeah.
when you are doing law.
Now
What
here
happened?
we join University of Nairobi, and first years they live at main campus. Second years now you go to Parklands. So there main campus, that's where people politic at Hall 9. There's a Kamukunji Square there.
In the main
In
campus.
the main campus. So I'm always there listening, talking.
And you became a student leader at some point. Are you already a student leader at this time?
I became a student leader on my second month of the university.
Second month of
the
joining
university.
the law degree
Yes,
program.
yes.
Wow.
We have Kenya Law Student Society, KLSS.
Yes, I remember that.
That organization, I vie,
And you become the
the
leader.
vice chairman.
So is it you allowed, or why did they choose you? Why did they elect you? I remember
No.
those elections were very contested, highly.
Nani was our chairman. This guy who was your head of legal, Jenga.
John.
Yeah,
John Jenga. He was the chair.
Jenga was the chair.
Okay, I get it.
Now Jenga is in fourth year. Me,
So
I'm in
was he
first
ahead
year.
of you, or you were in the same
He was in
class?
fourth year and I'm a
He was in
fresher.
fourth year.
So Jenga now, Jenga is in fourth year, I'm a first year.
Yes,
So me, I'm plotting how to become
the chairman.
the vice.
Oh, the vice
Yeah.
first.
Yeah, the vice.
As a stepping stone to the
that's
chair.
as a stepping stone to Sonu,
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Now the whole university
the whole
body.
university. So if we plot with Jenga, I become the vice,
Chair.
vice chair.
Uh-huh.
That time, that class of Jenga had Kina Kaluma Opondo. He is in, he is in fourth year.
Yes.
Kipchumba joins later immediately. Such characters. Now, when I now, after winning vice chairman of KLSS, I now vie Sonu. Same year, vice chairman.
First year, and you're
Yeah.
going for Sonu.
Sonu,
You
yeah.
are dangerous.
Yeah. I say, let me try.
So you vie for what position?
Vice chairman
The
of
vice
Sonu.
chair?
Yeah.
Hey, you are not serious.
Yeah. Vice chairman of
Sonu.
Sonu.
Did you get it?
Yeah. And you know, it meant you campaign in 7 campuses. Main, kule kunaitwaje kule kwa bio
Kabete.
No, Chiromo.
Chiromo for the medics.
For the medics. Lower Kabete.
Commercial, yeah.
Lower Kabete. Upper Kabete.
Upper Kabete and
Kikuyu.
Yes, and law school.
Law school and KNH.
Parklands.
And KNH.
And the main medical school.
Yes, 7 campuses. So you are a fresher. You are just going talking.
It's a serious campaign.
Yeah. Sankok is now vying for chairman. He is now David Ole Sankok. So we fight out. So I win
the vice chair.
The vice chair. Yeah, I win.
Okay.
Now we start politicking. That's where now another
Student
suspension
politics.
Comes in.
So what happened? Why were you suspended?
I think immediately we were joining, the university came up with a program called Parallel, which was self-sponsored. And those of us from the regular program, we had issues with that program. Number one,
you raised some issues.
We said there were some courses that were not open to regular students.
That were in the parallel.
In the parallel.
Program.
A good example was actuarial science. So we are saying, why discriminate against us?
Yeah.
2, they were learning 2.5 years as we are doing 4.
So they have a disadvantage of.
They have an advantage.
You are disadvantaged. The regular student
yes.
is disadvantaged in a way. In a big way, actually.
In a big way.
That's a difference of 1.5 years.
Plus, they would join immediately after high school.
And you guys have to wait for 2 years.
2 years. And me have an A-. Yes. Them is a little bit lower grade.
Because it's open to those who didn't get into the regular program.
To the regular program.
Yeah.
So we say, why are you creating an apartheid system? Us, most regular students are rural people.
Yes.
Isn't it?
You're in the regular.
Yeah, the rural people who pass,
you've done very well.
Yeah, but when you come to the university, you find it is skewed.
Against.
Yeah, I recall some units. A regular student will do some common course units, but they are not there in our counterparts. So we say, no, this isn't something just. Then we had a rumor that Kenya School of Law wants to compel all students to go to KSL for postgraduate diploma course because of the swelling numbers. So we also saw here, and because of this thing, we will be compelled to do an extra 1 year, which is not paid by HELB. Again, poor people
will suffer.
So we say, no, we fight.
Trouble is following you everywhere.
So what do? We file a case. Challenging this.
Court case?
Yes, a court case.
Court case?
Yes. Our advocate was E.K. Mutua.
Did you raise the issue with the university leadership?
Of course.
First?
Of course.
Then you felt like you are not being addressed?
Yes. So we file a constitutional petition arguing there's some discrimination here.
Should not be allowed to
happen. Once we file the court case, now during the hearing of the court case, students mobilized to go and hear their case. That's where now chaos erupts in town. It
turns into chaos.
And then we are suspended. After suspension, I appear before the University Senate. They give me 2 years suspension. We challenge it in court. When we challenge in court, then I meet that lady, the lawyer of the university. So you, Kang'ata, you sued us. You will not come back because time is not running.
You'd meet in court.
Now we meet in some social gathering.
Yes.
Aye. Then what happens?
And she's from your place.
You know, she's from my, So what happens? I say, now look, I'm at home. I have nothing to do. Let me try to become a councillor. So at the age of 22, I vie to become Murang'a Town councillor. By God's miracle, I win.
That is
2002.
2002 now. That was in the old system before devolution came.
Yes.
Because devolution came with the new constitution in 2010, right?
Yes.
So you became a councillor under the old municipal council structure. What?
Yeah.
And you got it?
Yes.
Hey, you are really loud.
Yeah. We win. With a landslide.
Did you expect to win?
No, I was joking.
Are you?
No, I told my mother.
You are looking for something to occupy you now. You must have checked me out.
In fact, when I told my mom and my dad, you know I'm vying.
Ati naenda kuwa kajura. We used to call them kajura.
My father says, no.
No way.
How can you join? You know how corrupt the county council is? And you know we don't deal with corruption. My mother is the pragmatic one. Says, no, stop telling this young child. He has nothing to do.
Let him go try.
Hey, let him try. What are you telling him? Hey,
But do you think your mom truly believed you could win?
No, you are just joking. You know, campaign is drama.
Yeah, I know.
So,
there are a lot of malpractices. A lot of people say it wasn't free and fair.
Let me just try this political drama.
I don't lose anything.
Yeah, what am I doing at home?
No, we are told that campaigns are very expensive. So how did you finance your campaign as a councillor at that time?
It was a very funny thing. The support became very strong.
What?
Very strong. People are saying they were saying we'll be eating money from this person, but we shall
vote for this young boy.
This young boy.
22 years.
Yeah. You know?
You have guys.
They say we will eat money from this.
The older guys.
Older guys?
Your opponents now.
Yeah.
But our vote is for?
It's for this young
Kang'ata.
boy. Yeah. When we say that, then, but now the funny thing, once in a blue moon, we would beat with those, some people and tell me, hey, you give us some, hata kama tunakula kwa yule, buy something. So my mother had to really break some banks to finance those logistics. I recall she told me, I think we used about 80,000. Which was very little in comparison.
Still modest, compared to the others.
To the others, but I recall she used like 80,000 to campaign, you know, even fueling. In fact, there's even a very funny human story there. One of my classmates, he was called Mwangi, in primary school. He never went to high school. So Mwangi left Muranga, went to become you know these vehicles that come here to Nairobi, break down.
The recovery, the recovery vehicles.
So Mwangi established
a towing company.
A towing business.
Yes.
And he married very early because he didn't go to high school. I think by 16 years old he was already married. So when the campaign comes, Mwangi comes back to Muranga. And decides to now use that towing vehicle to campaign for me. So it was like my...
That was your campaign vehicle?
Yeah. So imagine,
a towing truck.
No, Mwangi. Mwangi is born alone. Mother, father, and Mwangi alone.
He had no siblings.
He has no siblings. Mwangi, immediately we win. Mwangi has 3 children. We win, Mwangi passes on in an accident.
No way. So
Later, Mwangi's wife dies. The children are left with their grandparents.
3 kids.
Yes. The grandfather dies. Grandmother dies.
No.
Now, by twist of fate, these 3 children are very sharp. They go to the best high schools. So we have been with some of those children, helping each other. And there's one I'm trying to help, and the one works in my law firm.
So
And,
you adopted them?
One of them, yeah. In terms of support,
Yeah.
she lives at her own, but I support. So every time I see that young girl, she's called Mso, it reminds me of that. The politics when I was 22 years old.
Wow. Kajura at 22, and MP at what? 30? 32. And governor at 40?
42.
42.
The idea to change society, we think is the only platform where you can effect some societal change.